than $350,000. That's incredible. And it's in thanks to people like you that we continue to raise the amount of money that we've been able to raise. I remember the story that inspired me to run. Initially, it was the story of Terry Fox, his cancer, his dream, his hope, and his run across Canada. The story intrigued and inspired me then, as it does now. For some of you, it might be the first time you hear Terry Fox's story. For others, it might be a story you have heard for many years. Regardless, as long as I stand here each year, I will retell the story as I feel that it's important to keep the memory alive. And storytelling is one of the best ways to kindle and rekindle memories. After losing his leg to cancer at 18 years old, Terry Fox set out from St. John's, Newfoundland on April 12, 1980, to begin the run across Canada that he named the Marathon of Hope. His ambition was to raise $1 million for cancer research. It wasn't easy. Initial support from communities varied from terrific to nothing at all. But Terry was an outstanding athlete with a stubborn and competitive spirit. And as he said, nobody is ever going to call me a quitter. His prosthetic leg was painful to run on, and there was always traffic along with extreme weather conditions to deal with. He ran for about 14 hours every day, running a marathon or 42 kilometers every single day. And to you little people that don't know how far 42 kilometers are, it would be like if you had to run from here to Owen Sound every day. Can you imagine doing that? He didn't care if it was snowing or raining or really hot. He just kept going. By the time he reached our province, Ontario, word of his achievement had spread, and thousands cheered him and followed his progress. Sadly, it was in Ontario when the disease spread to his lungs and he was forced to end his run near Thunder Bay. After running every single day for 143 days and after completing nearly 5,400 kilometers. After Terry stopped his run, he said, "Even if I don't finish, we need others to continue." He then pleaded with Canadians, "It's got to keep going without me." When cancer finally claimed his life in 1981, Canada mourned the loss of a hero. But the Terry Fox Marathon of Hope lives on. Today, we join thousands of others across Canada to carry on the legacy created by Terry Fox and inspired by his dream. Canadians have not failed Terry. We have responded by joining the run, raising almost $800 million for innovative cancer research, by changing hundreds of lives and making our world a better place. Remarkably, 82% of all money raised goes to cancer research, every cancer. No other organization commits to that massive a percentage of funds raised. To those of you who know me and my family, you will know we lost the pillar of our family to cancer this year. My husband Earl, dad to our kids, and Nance to our grandchildren, died in February after being diagnosed with leukemia a year earlier. 2 years ago, he stood here as a prostate cancer survivor and Terry's team member and asked everyone to recognize how each of us could play an important role in the diagnosis, treatment, and ultimate cure for cancer. He talked about action, participating in the Terry Fox Run annually to raise money, and he talked about hope. When Earl died, I honestly almost lost hope. But as the day of the Terry Fox Run approached, I realized I needed to draw on the strength that Terry Fox and my husband demonstrated, a strength firmly embedded in hope, and that kicked me into gear. When Terry Fox started his run, he called it the Marathon of Hope. I didn't fully understand the power of the word hope until I recently read the very wise words of environmentalist David Orr, who said, "Hope is a verb with its sleeves rolled up." Orr put green building principles into action. To those of you who are too young to understand this metaphor, it means that hope is not just a thing to wish for, it's an action, like run, or walk, or jump, or play, or ride a bike. So Terry Fox, by naming his run the Marathon of Hope, showed us how to make hope an action word. He motivated thousands upon thousands of Canadians to do something special and powerful, to join together to raise money for cancer research. And that legacy has lived on for 39 years. This year I plan to run with hope in my heart and hope in my feet. Hope for those recently diagnosed with cancer, hope for those undergoing treatment, hope that the money raised across Canada and the world will continue to make a difference in the research and treatment of all cancers, and finally, hope for a cure, so that someday no others will have their lives cut short due to cancer. And I will run to honor the memory of Earl, who even when the odds were stacked against him, never stopped hoping. Again, I'd like to give a very special welcome to the returning team members of the Red Shirts. For those of you who don't know, Red Shirts are given annually to people who are fighting cancer or who have survived cancer. And every year it seems our little community has more and more people coming forward wearing red shirts. And not always do they wear red shirts, but they represent the embodiment of survival. So I'd like to welcome anyone who's a cancer survivor or who is wearing a red shirt today and ask them to come forward. While they're coming forward, I'll introduce them. Pat Sermon is a 16-year survivor of breast cancer. Susan Cook has survived multiple cancers and who is now a multiple-year survivor of breast and skin cancer. Darlene Thorne from Paisley, who ran 10K in Owen Sound this morning, then joined us here to do another 10K. Soft tissue sarcoma. I don't want to stand in front of any of you. Ann Stewart from Hamilton, who is a breast cancer survivor from 2011. And we remember her husband Peter, who passed away from cancer just 2 years ago. Brian Death from Sauble, who when he joined us 3 years ago was in the middle of treatment for colon cancer, and who was our special Terry Teams member. Just last week, Brian received had a CT scan which showed clear results. Congratulations. Survivor of breast cancer. Laura Robinson, our last year's Terry's team member, and Matt Fitzsimmons of Port Elgin, who in July 2018 was diagnosed with a brain tumor. Matt has since gone through chemo and radiation and ran in Owen Sound this morning in a 5K. So welcome to all of you, who are Riley is here as well, but I'm going to introduce her later. Anyway, thank you, all of you, for so much for coming forward and representing the hope for us in our community.